Hey y'all! Alright, I'm going to make sure I'm in the right spot. I can't see comments on here. So I want to make sure that I have it pulled up over here. Let's see if I can find me yet. I hope I'm in the right spot. Let's see. There we are. Pull this up. Put this down. Oh, right, perfect. Hey y'all, okay, I am Casandra Bollinger. I'm coming in and talking to you guys tonight. I'm just going to give you guys a little bit about myself, but as you guys are coming on, say hello, tell me where you're from, and then I'll kind of give you some info on me. My name, again, is Casandra Bollinger. I am married. Between the two of us, we have 4 children, and they're all girls. So God bless my husband. He takes care of all of us. I've been in Scentsy since 2020. So May of 2020. So I actually am coming across my 3-year scent anniversary next month. I'm very excited. And I've done a little bit of everything. So I guess I can just start back from the beginning. I want to talk tonight about consistency and also customer follow-up. I can say in the last 3 years, that has been the ultimate goal for me because that has brought me the most success. When I started with Scentsy, I was very desperate. I was in need of money. I had lost my job due to the pandemic and I needed to make some money. I hadn't worked in like 2 months. So I got let go in March and then I started in May with Scentsy and I needed the money. And I struggled, but I didn't know that my struggle was more than what some people actually do. So I hit the door running on the 17th of May. I didn't do anything for my first 10 days of my shooting star. It was like, I've done other direct sales. I've done makeup, I've done jewelry, and I did some energy drink stuff. I didn't think I would be successful in Scentsy because I had failed at those other companies horribly. I had no upline. I had no help. Basically, it was just kind of like thrown to the wild. And my sponsor in the jewelry place quit like 2 months in. Like she was done and she got out. When I did the makeup was just for me. I just wanted to be able to earn rewards and get it back. It's the only reason I signed up with them. And the other one, same thing. The little packets, I signed up for the energy company just to get the packets to get through my ADD and my crazy day. So moving forward, I honestly didn't think that Scentsy was going to do anything for me. I really thought some fast cash, get in there, get out, just be done and have some great smelling stuff. It honestly changed my life. So it took me about 10 days after signing up and finally getting my kit. I think it took me almost 8 days because shipping back then was horrible. And I got the $25 kit, or it was a $20 kit. I'm sorry. It was a $20 kit at the time. And I was very determined no matter what. And guys, I didn't even know what half the stuff was. I had not used Scentsy since like 2009. I think I had gotten 2 warmers and I still had wax from the last time I had ordered and I found it. That's the only reason that I even started looking back at Scentsy, because I knew that the wax was good and I wanted to see how much it cost. And that's how I started. So I was very desperate and very needy. Like I needed to make this work, so I was going to do anything. I told my upline that I would follow and do whatever she asked when she asked, just to prove that this was not going to work. Like that's what my goal was, to prove that Scentsy was not going to be worth it and to prove that I wasn't going to be able to do it, because I'm not a salesperson. I'm not one that does this. Like I don't take videos. I even had gotten off of social media. My social media at that time was completely dead. I got my kit. I did a live. I waited 24 hours before I did my live because I didn't want to go on there. I went on my Facebook, I went live, and I talked about the products basically like, I got a warmer and I just put it off to the side. Like it was just, oh look, there's some wax, and then I had testers. So I had 1 bar of wax, I had a mini warmer, I had I didn't even get the training guide. It was just some order forms and some catalogs. That was it. That's what I worked with. But because everybody was shut down and everybody knew that we couldn't meet because with the pandemic going, we did everything over the phone. I made phone calls. I started calling every single person in my phone. I started messaging everybody in my Facebook that I knew, and even my husband. I started messaging his friends as well, just to get my name out there. And it started with a template, which I don't use anymore because I personalize every single message to everybody because I'm on different levels with so many different people. But I would send them and just say, hey, because I always say, hey. So it'd be like, hey, Lisa, I just wanted to let you know, I just started Scentsy. I wanted to know if you would check out my website. Let me know what you think about it. If there's anything that you want to order, my goal is $500 in 15 days. And I waited, I delayed, and I only have 5 days left. That's basically what I told everybody. So on the 27th of May, I started a VIP group, and then that way I wasn't doing everything on Facebook because I was like, I'm not doing this on my personal page at all. I wanted to not be that person. I wanted to not be that every time I scrolled through and I saw my friends selling some of those other things, that I didn't want to be that person. And so I didn't put anything really on my personal page except for my first live. After that, a couple of flyers. I always used the flyers that someone else made. But I started that VIP group, and not only did I hit shooting star in the 5 days, actually I had 4 days because there's 31 days in May. I didn't even start till the 27th, but I got like 1,500 because I asked everybody. Now, at the time that I started, nobody was doing parties. They were doing online parties or Facebook parties, that kind of thing, because nobody was meeting face to face. So when I started with Scentsy, I was never trained how to do a house party or how to do a sip and sniff or how to do any of those things. And the reason why I tell you that is why everything in my business changed. I was so great online. I was posting. I had my VIP group. I posted every hour on the hour from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. I did everything. Like, I was very consistent on my posting, and to the point where it was taking me so long to find posts to post every hour on the hour. And I did that for 1.5 years, almost 2 years. It's been almost about a year since I stopped. So it was almost 2 years that was a lot of posting, but back in COVID, back in 2020, it was easy to post and pray because people were ordering. Guys, when I say people were ordering, it was crazy. I think my highest sales in PRV back then was $4,800 in sales. Absolutely blew my mind how easy it was, because it was easy. I would post, people would order. I would ask if they want to place an order. They would place an order. I had some people that ghosted me. No big deal, because I had all these other people I was talking to. I never really did much follow-up in the beginning because I didn't know how important it was. But I did consistently post every single day in my VIP. In the last year, I have stopped doing the every hour on the hour because posting and praying is not working. Not with the society as we're in right now, and not with how social media works, because it doesn't really matter how much you post. It depends on how much interaction you get. So I have changed what I did on my posting. But I got so much better on follow-up because at one point, I didn't have any customers. I had recruited every single customer that I had that was buying more than $100 worth. And then I had all these people that were buying less than $100, and I wasn't hitting my goals. I wasn't even my goals. And my goals was always $2,000 every single month minimum. I think the first time that I hit under $2,000 was last year. And after that, it's been a struggle bus for me. I hit director really fast. I basically triple promoted in 1 month because of my sales and my recruiting. And guys, I am not a recruiter. I just told them, why spend money with me when you can get money back? I mean, like, that was my biggest thing. And I just was honest with them. I'm like, you're spending so much money with me, but you're not getting any kind of kickback from it. Why don't you, would you like to earn some money with Scentsy? You just place your own orders and you get your money back. And I got 5 people to join in 1 month. And then other than that, I was always getting like 2 to 3. Sometimes there was 1, and occasionally there was like nobody. after we came out of that pandemic, I was starting to be very consistent with following up on customer orders, following up to check to see how they liked it, because I was running out of customers. It was getting to the point that they may have gotten it today, and I'm like, how'd you like it? Did you already set up your warmer? Did you already check your wax? Or, do you need more wax? I know you just got it. And I rubbed people the wrong way. I was so abrasive because I was so desperate still. I needed to have sales. There was nothing more than having sales, because I wanted to be an SSD. I wanted to have a huge team. And I took all my focus away of kind of like our core values. I took that away from my business, and my sales started to go down quite a bit. I think my lowest ever is like 700 PRV in 1 month. And that was a hard month for me, because I was used to having those high PRVs, the high amount of sales, because I could post and pray. And I mean, guys, when you hit 3,000 and all you're doing is just asking people and everybody's buying, you don't have to work at it. You don't have to have some kind of follow-up on that. You don't have to excuse bust. You don't have to worry about the excuses, because no one was really giving me excuses. And if they did, I would just move on to the next person. It wasn't a big deal. I had that many people that was just buying from me. Now, that have been in for almost 3 years, that's a totally different story now. So currently right now in my VIP, it's very active. People fight over the top 10 contributors that you can find in your Facebook groups. I always do it on Tuesday. So every week, there's 10 people. I do top 10. And they all get put into a drawing at the end of the month. And it varies on what I give away. And I never tell them anything of what I'm giving away or what they're getting, if they're getting a product, sample, or an offering of like hosting a party or getting free shipping. There's so many different things that I work on with the customers. It depends. The person who is constantly winning, if they do not buy from me, then most of the time they don't really get anything from me. I offer them, free shipping, or I offer them an extra half price if they want to do a party, because I know now I need to make sure that I'm keeping my business growing and not just giving away stuff for free to anybody. So my VIP, I post 2 posts a day. One is Scentsy, one is not Scentsy. And then the early morning, there is an extra post in there. That is just kind of like an everyday. It's the interactive post of the month. And then I have one that, I have, what do I do Mondays? Must have Mondays, Tip Tuesday, Wonder Wednesday, this or that Thursday, Fabulous Friday, Sneak Peek Saturday, and Scentsy Club Sunday. So I've kept a theme now in my VIP that makes it very interactive. They are all trying to guess or react because they know that gets them up in the top 10. So my VIP has changed from what I started. And that's the one thing about Scentsy. Your business is going to change all the time, and you have to accept that. You have to kind of get into that mode that if it's not working today, doesn't mean it won't work tomorrow. But what's not working today may work tomorrow, and what's working today may not work tomorrow. So you want to make sure that you are in a way that you can constantly pivot to help your business, to kind of grow with it. Since everything is starting to go back to normal, my consistency is definitely over 1,000. I always get my 500 or at least a minimum of 1,000 before I start helping any of my teamies. That's like my goal is to hit at least 1,000 by the 15th, which I think I'm 20 PRV away from right now, only because it's been slow. But I don't actually, when I said that, it's been slow. It's not been slow. I haven't reached out this last week to get my sales. I break down my sales basically on a daily basis of what I need to get. So if I don't get anything today, then I have to double up tomorrow. You can break down what your goal is to a daily quota per se. So that way you know that if you're getting this much, then you need to, if you're wanting to hit this goal, you need to make this much a day, or you can just break it down by week. So with my VIP, it's technically 3 posts. 2 of them are themed. There's a Scentsy and the non-Scentsy, and that's where my consistently has definitely been. Follow up. I had seen a training about printing off the last 3 months of everybody who has ordered and checking back with them. If they ordered this week, I just check to make sure that they have received their product and everything arrived perfectly. If they ordered last week or longer, or I guess about a month, so 2 weeks to 3 weeks, then I check to see how everything is going. Like, you know, are you enjoying the scent that you got? I always just kind of follow back with them. And then if it's been more than 2 months, then I'm just checking back. How's everything going? You've been using it for a while. What do you love about it? I don't ever say what's wrong. I don't ever ask, like, did everything come in damaged? I'm like, was it perfect? Did you love it? I always try to stay on the positive side when I'm talking to my customers, because when you start a conversation with a negativity, then negativity is easily put through the whole conversation. But if you always start with a positive, then it changes the whole conversation. As I've done different trainings, I've done different systems in my business, I've had to work to kind of figure out what works for me. So my follow-up not only is the messaging of checking back and looking through the order history, is that I also send out Happy Mail every single month. And I'm a cheapskate. I don't want to spend extra money that I don't have to. So everybody gets an envelope. A purple, I do a purple. It's the letter or the legal size envelope. Most of it is 1 stamp. Sometimes I have to go to 2 stamps depending on the weight, but it's flat. I don't add extras anymore. If it is, then it's felts, and they're very thin felts that I send in samples. I don't do big samples anymore unless they come to my house to pick up. So with that follow-up that I've been asking those 3 or 4 customers, I've had to change a lot of stuff in my business. I realized that I'm checking back with them, but it was a reality check when I looked, and I technically have not recruited anybody since August of last year. And that was a gut check, because I went back to look to kind of some of my stats and look to see what I was doing now compared to what I was doing then. And I think when my business changed was when I realized that I had to get back to basics. And my basics were trying to build my sales back up and get parties, which I had never really done before. I'd done a couple of Facebook parties, but I hate being in them, so it's hard for me to run them. So I have tried to find different ways outside of that to run my parties. A lot of times it's shopping links or reward links is what I call them. For a lot of my customers that order, but they don't want to ask their friends, and that's okay. I keep it open for 3 months, and then when we get towards the end, like the last 2 weeks, I'm like, hey, do you want me to create a shopping link or a scroll and shop for your friends? And then that way, maybe we can get you a little bit higher right before the end. And that's a Canva. It's basically a Canva website that kind of gives them a rundown of what the catalog is so they can click on it and place orders. I've done a couple of those. Like I've tweaked a lot of stuff here and there. Board parties are really big right now. My next one is to start doing a board party and see what goes into that. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. So with 3 years, I definitely know that the posting every hour on the hour is not getting me business. So I backed off on that, and I started doing consistent posts every single day as a minimum. So that way I'm not bombarding my customers anymore. My other step is that I opened up a business page. That way I could do more salesy and like flyer posts on that one, along with converting my Instagram to a public account that's connected to my Facebook. So when I post here, it posts there, and vice versa. And I've also opened myself up to doing YouTube videos, YouTube shorts, and TikTok. Now, my goal being on different platforms was to get more customers, because again, in the beginning, it was great. I had a huge customer pool because I had never done Scentsy before. I went back through a lot of my old contacts of people, of my friends that had bought from me before. And I was able to get people buying, but I never did parties. I never realized how important parties were to continue with the growth of sales and growth of teamies. My team, I mean, it was great. We got my teaming group up to 74 people, but I'd added so many people, I didn't even have an onboarding in place. So last year, I took a hard look at my business. Last year in October was when I changed everything. I have a full onboarding system now. I have developed it for the last 2.5 years, almost 3 years now. I have the onboarding. I also do the follow-up, making sure my customers, and again, I don't do templates. I don't do a one fits all. I always check to see what I've said to them before, and I go down a list. I have a list of everybody that has ordered. I print it off from the workstation just to know, and I check it off, and then I write down what they talked about, and I'll even put it in their notes in my contacts if I need to follow up with them again, or my calendar. Then my goal in this next 6 months is to start recruiting more. Going back to what I was doing before, going back and asking. The biggest way that I learned how to recruit was asking them, have you ever considered making extra money with Scentsy? Has that ever crossed your mind? Especially when they tell me that they don't have any money right now for an order. And it's just like, I always have free kits available, the 0 out-of-pocket kits, the ones that I have already earned all the rewards. So I always offer that. When they're doing promos through Scentsy, when Scentsy's running a promo, I always make sure I start with that before I offer the free. And then, because that way it's kind of like, hey, you can start for the 25 with this much. And then they're like, no, I don't really have the money. I'm like, well, I do have a bigger kit for 0 out-of-pocket. But that's going to be one thing I'm working on, because I have started to lay my foundation, my consistency with my new business PRV. I can't really compare my business from 2020 to now, because again, the pandemic and the COVID really changed it. So my new business platform is, my consistency is always a minimum of $1,000 a month. The goal is still to get back up to 2,000, but I had to start back over. So, and then start recruiting 2 a month. When I was doing that, my team grew really, really fast, but I also didn't have a lot of people that were doing a lot. I don't even know if I told you guys. So when I started, I did the Shooting Star, I also hit Scentsational Start level 3, and then I hit Director in 4 months. So again, 2020 buying and pandemic buying was amazing for me, and it shot me all the way up. But I've had to rebuild my business. I've had to rebuild a foundation. When I started, I did not have much of an upline that was doing trainings. I honestly still don't have an upline that does trainings that I follow. I have had to search out. I found a lot of Scentsy sisters and Scentsy misters that I follow on YouTube. I've met quite a few of them. SFR last year was my first in-person SFR, and I'm going again this year. I didn't earn it. I was 200 away from the level 1 incentive, and I just couldn't get it. But I've bought my ticket. I'm going to SFR, and I'm driving. I pivoted my entire business because I know SFR is important. I know that the world tours, I've gone to 2 world tours, and I absolutely love them. Wait, I lied. This last January was the first world tour I went through. The other one was virtual. But going to the events has definitely helped, because I've gotten to reach out and connect with other consultants, and that way I kind of know how they run their business, because I didn't have a model to follow with growing my team, with growing my community, with growing the culture that I wanted in my team. I didn't have a template. I didn't have a map to follow. I've created everything that I've done ultimately by myself. I've learned how to flag different videos if I want to go back and watch them. I watch a lot of trainings, and now I don't write everything down. I watch a training and I just write down the one thing I got out of it and the one thing I want to do to implement. Your business will grow when you want it to. And when I say that, there's a thing about like, yeah, I want $1 million. I want to win the lotto. I want to be an SSD. Well, there's work behind it, and there's work that has to be consistently done. And I've been a director. there's no like map whenever you get to be a director either, guys. You kind of like sink or swim. I just went. I was doggy paddling a lot. Then for a while there, I was being able to do great swim strokes. It was awesome. And then it just kind of stopped because everything else changed and I had to learn how to pivot. And my team and we do trainings every week. We have a group chat that we talk to each other when there's questions. There's so many things that you can do to grow a team, but then again, I'm working on growing it. It takes one person to change your entire business. There's one teamie or a downline or a third generational, fourth generational that will change your entire business. And I've had that done recently and it blew my mind. Last month, we were only 1,000 PRV away from hitting director numbers. And this month we are trending to hit them. So I may have lost the director title 3 times, but I'm heading back up there. And that's what I think that kind of sums it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Look at this. Oh, hi, Alicia. I didn't even see that you had commented. I don't see comments on here. But that's kind of what my business has done. And that's kind of how I've grown my business. As I've trained myself and I want it. I need it. In the beginning, I was desperate. Now it's like my full-time job. I still have 3 other part-time jobs that I do from home. I've kind of worked my entire life around it, but I try and do all the things, but I focus on one thing at a time. So find what makes you happy. Facebook parties did not make me happy, so I didn't focus on those. I focused on the shopping links and the reward links. I love going live and I talk to my VIP and I do different games and stuff in the middle of a live. I'll do games following up or even afterwards. I'll post different things in my VIP group and be like, okay, for everybody who watched, what color was blah, blah, blah. So then they'll go watch the video, answer, and they're getting extra tickets for the end of the month. Again, when I do my giveaways in my group, they are things that are easily, like, you get a rewards link. You'll get an extra half price item if you hit $200 or 200 PRV in sales. It's a perpetual. I try not to, how do I want to say this? I try not to do anything out of compliance. I always try to make sure that whenever anybody wins, it's always on a one-on-one basis. So when you do it that way, then you can offer them anything. You can send them a scent circle in the mail. My happy mail, I always show people that my happy mail is going out, but I don't ever show them what's on the inside unless someone posts. And they'll post what they got because I always put a sticker on there. And when people are like, ooh, I want one of those. And so I'll send them a PM. Be like, I send those out to all of my customers every single month. There's always something in there of a felt circle sample. There's rub and sniff stickers. I love the rub and sniff stickers because it's so cheap to mail. And then I just stay consistent. That's the biggest thing is if you say you're busy. I ran the busiest part of my business working 2 full-time jobs and then doing Scentsy. I worked at a bar and then I also worked at another place during the week and full-time, both of those jobs. I was pulling in like 87, 88 hours a week and I was still doing Scentsy and doing up to 3,500 to 4,000 PRV a month. So if you say you're busy, then that means you know great time management. When you say you don't have time, then it's not a priority. And then since your business will not be a priority in your life, you need to make time. You need to find time. If it means that you have to get up 15 minutes before that everybody else does to be able to get stuff done or stay up 15 minutes later, you can work your business every single day, 15 minutes and be very, very productive. That was one of the biggest things is that I was working in the beginning 12-hour days and then I was coming home and trying to work 12 hours with Scentsy and I was like, ooh, I need some sleep. And trust me, sleep is hard to find when you're working that much. But I did it. I look back and I grew because I realized how much I wanted this business. I now am not learning new things. I am modifying them, tweaking them. And so it does not take me more than an hour to 2 hours a day to work my business full time. That is my full time. Like Monday through Friday, I do certain things. And then on Saturday and Sunday is my days to message customers, figure out the content I want to do for the next week. I do a lot of reels. So if you ever want to see any of my reels, you can click on my profile and you can see, because everything is public. I love doing reels. I love breaking down a how-to, like cleaning your stove with counter clean, doing my laundry. Literally, guys, I can do my laundry twice a week, and my reels, I mean, there's tons of people that are watching them. They're commenting. They are liking them. Well, I say a bunch. Guys, I'm not up in the thousands yet, but I do have a lot of reels that have about 200 people that have watched. I do have more. But I don't look at the vanity numbers. When I started going across through different platforms, you know, so many people are like, I need to have 10 million followers. I don't want 10 million followers because I wouldn't be able to handle 10 million customers all at once. I don't want that. I want quality over quantity. But I also know for me to get that quality, I need to have my face out there more. I need to be able to show more of what Scentsy is. And I take my own spin on it. I no longer... well, I'm normally a duplicator, not a creator. Like, I'm not the one who comes up with the ideas. I'm just the one who makes it my own. That way I can kind of tweak it the way my personality is. And then how I'm feeling on a day-to-day basis. I struggle so bad with depression and being isolated. I was a very social person before COVID, and now it's very hard for me to go out into public because I have been isolated now for almost 3 years. So depression gets bad because I realize what I'm missing. I'm missing my people. I'm missing seeing people and having friends and going out and doing all these things. And there was a lot of things in my life that changed, that Scentsy was my consistent. I quit drinking. I quit smoking. I had just cut out a lot of extra stuff in my life because it wasn't a priority anymore. And Scentsy was my fallback. Scentsy saved my life. Scentsy gave me the purpose to keep going when the depression got bad. And when I know my depression is bad, I'm like, I need to do one thing, Scentsy, today. I need to do one more thing today before I'm done. And then I give myself a break, especially on the days that it's hard. The days that it's hard to focus. It's hard to stream ideas together, to do anything that's on my list. I'm a huge person for lists and calendars. And then I'm like, one thing, either I have to reach out to one customer, I need to plan one post, or I need to find information on a post and figure out what else I haven't talked about Scentsy. And then I give myself a break and I say, okay, I only did this today, but I did one Scentsy thing today, and I can stop. I'm going to relax. I'm going to declutter my brain, and then I'm going to try again tomorrow. And there's some days that I try 3 or 4 times in the day, and it's hard. It's a struggle. But at some point, I'm like, I have to do this. I have to get up. No matter what I look like, no matter what's going on, I have to at least complete my task for the day. And I've taken my huge amount of time that I was spending on trainings and all these other things, and I've dwindled them down, and I know what works for me. I have found what systems work for me. I have found what processes I need to do to be successful for what I'm wanting right now. And it's going to change. I could message 15 people and maybe have 2 people join, and then my whole processes are out the window. But that's just life. And it's okay, because at least I know I'm consistent on my follow-up, on my customers, on my happy mail, on my VIP. Those I can do and still do an onboarding. It's just find your flow, find your systems, systems are only small actions that are repeated over and over and over until they become a habit. That's a system. We get scared when people say system. I have a system I want to show you. Guys, it's just a repeatable habit. It is a small steps repeated over and over and over until they become a habit. That is your system. So find your system. And find a buddy. Find a Scentsy sister that's not in your team. You can go on the 1,000 or so other Scentsy groups and say, hey, this is what rank I'm at. These are my goals, and I need an accountability partner. When you go to World Tour, if you go to SFR, here in Texas, we have a H-Town Showdown, which is down by Houston, Texas. And I go to that, and that's always like right after SFR. And my goal this next year is to find a new buddy to talk to and hang out with and learn, and kind of like exchange some ideas. Every time that I try to go to an event, I try to find someone that I can either be their accountability partner or have someone be my accountability partner. And it's, again, remember, I have that social anxiety now, and I have the fear of being rejected, but I push through, and I'm like, I can do this. And I know SFR is very hard for me because this year I'm not flying. I have a fear of flying. I'm driving, but I'm driving 15 hours to go to SFR. So I have a little bit of fear of that. I have a little bit of, oh my gosh, I'm driving that far. I'm doing it all in one day, so that way I can be there to see my friends that I've missed for last year. But I'm doing that because I told myself that no matter what, I'm getting to SFR. I'm going to be there. It's going to be amazing. I hope to see all of y'all there. I will be there. But that's kind of what I have for you guys tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that you got some value out of something I said tonight. You are more than welcome to message me or comment on here, and I'll respond back if you have any questions about any of the things that I have done, maybe how to be consistent, how to follow up, how to even create a system. Those type of things I'm really good at. Again, my PRV is always sitting at more than 1,000. It's not quite back at my 4,000, but that means it's not there yet. It will be getting there once I get my customer base going and I start branching out with more interactions with my customers. And that's what I have for you guys today. I hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday night. I may not know any of you, but I love you all, and I hope you have a blessed night. I'll talk to you guys soon.